Hello, viewers. Welcome to episode 8 of the podcast, where 4 or 5 idiots discuss, maybe not in this case, your favorite versus matchups. I say maybe not in this case because we have. I'm going to be honest. I've never heard of this matchup before, or even one of the franchises we are talking about. And believe it or not, it is not My Hero. So yeah, today we have myself in the peanut gallery today, and we are joined by Mugen Kage representing Izuku Midoriya, Deku.
I finally get to rep a character on one of these. It's my boy
Sonic.
Izuku.
It'll be Sonic one day.
It'll be Sonic one day.
We do have
We
a
just
Sonic
keep the bit.
episode.
Everyone, we have a plan. What if it's just not Mugen? It's just like he's exclusively our
It's
MHA
just not
scaler.
Mugen.
Privilege.
It's just someone else to do it.
We also have, of course, Radiant Claire representing Shy from Shy. Is that
Shy,
right?
yeah, it's the series name.
Yeah, Shy. It's Shy.
In
This is-
Japanese, it is in English, so it's more like it stands out more. People are like, "Oh yeah, Shy," but in English, it's just the word Shy, so you're never going to find it on a Google search. This was pretty big for a little bit. This is, I think, one of Deku's more popular matchups, but also he's kind of put against everyone.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I think it was me who put this matchup, like I said if we wanted to do this, because I was like, MHA does well, like MHA is very popular, and I feel like this is I don't know the right word for it, but I guess it's similar to like a legacy matchup, because when Shy came out, it was like 2017, and it was right around when MHA was really big, and this matchup popped up quite frequently. It's just that the little main thing is that Shy's anime wasn't great, so it fell off.
Yeah.
Like that's like the main catch. But yeah, you'll get to hear me talk about a series you know nothing about and hope to sell you on.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, you did a pretty good job 2 weeks ago with Loser Ranger. So hope for the best.
I think
here.
Shy is a better. This is no hate. I think Shy is a better series than Loser Ranger.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So I have to give people.
Well, it has gay women in it, so that appeals to you a lot.
Yeah, true.
Also, I'm here. I'm
Yes, I was
Pumpkin.
gonna-
I have a YouTube channel for what it's worth. I talk about Sonic and also other things.
Yes.
I'm just here to listen to what these guys and this girl have to say. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, thank you for introducing us. I love the enthusiasm, honestly. And we are also joined by Bridget yet again, whose mic is hopefully a lot better than last time.
Hopefully, it doesn't fucking crash like last time. And fucking hell, I will end everything in the world if that happens.
It sounds much better than it did for Sarah and Ganon, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Thank
God.
she was fixing it like literally I think it was like the day before
Yeah,
Call.
last
She was
night
just
we were-
like messing it up, messing with it.
Like to just clarify something. If at any point me or Giraffe die mid-cast, it's because of the weather and the
UK
It's like
is-
150 over there.
Yeah, it's like 37, 8 degrees Celsius, something like that for us right now. It is.
Oh, what is that in Fahrenheit? Because I'm a stupid American. Okay, yeah. That it's been 100 here pretty
Yeah.
consistently, and like
You're in a state known for being hot. Like,
yeah.
UK houses are made of straw. Like they're made to
Yeah.
heat as much as
Well,
possible.
the thing that I always think of whenever this comes up is that during the summer, my AC broke in one of my apartments, and they moved us to a new apartment, and they said that they legally had to because it was illegal to keep a tenant in an apartment without air conditioning in this state.
And the UK just doesn't have AC. Like,
Yeah.
No
It's-
AC,
it's-
no wooden houses.
Just lots of fans.
yeah.
Yep, and I can't even use mine.
Okay, so whilst we're dying, we haven't done this in a while, but I did want to discuss last week because we did kind of leave it to you guys.
the poll.
We did kind of leave it to you guys. So it is 16 to 12 to Freddy.
That's really close.
Wee.
Yeah. Like,
If Mr. Goodnight didn't literally at the end just say, "Oh yeah, I actually think Freddy wins the whole time,"
I think maybe
Maybe
it would have been
Penny would have
almost
gotten
dead
more
even,
votes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would have maybe been. I mean, even then, like that is super super close. That might be the closest poll in the end.
Probably.
I think Yuji versus Denji was a bit closer.
That was close.
Yeah.
Not
So, I
shocking.
mean, that's cool. Clearly, people like that matchup and are interested in it.
I mean, most of my comments have been saying how Pennywise wins, so I don't know.
Or it's either that or it's people. Because I've seen a few Freddy defenders, but I saw one person who's really just like, oh yeah, it is just Spawn Ghost Rider. Like it's just the same matchup.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Cool, if it is.
Matchup horror related.
Yeah, okay. So that's not too surprising. That it's probably that was only 2 days ago, so we are recording this earlier than usual, so we'll see if Pennywise can take the win, but not surprising that it's close. It is the type of matchup you need to look into. And today we might have another one of those matchups, hopefully. Okay, first of all, I don't even know why we had this as a suggestion. What's the deal with this matchup? Why this one?
You know Deku, my MHA, and Horikoshi's a huge fan of Spider-Man. That's the same for Shy. When I get into Calcs, one of the literal first speech she has in the series is a bar for bar recreation of that Spider-Man holding the trains scene. Like, the author is the biggest Spider-Man fan humanly possible, and I can't remember the exact thing, but it's like behind the scenes when Shy was being created, it was being kind of like drummed up as the next MHA and stuff. And when it was meant to come out in Shonen Jump with MHA, like it was meant to be in the main Jump comic, but then it was moved to a different comic because of like, I think like it was it gets very dark and the author didn't want to remove that stuff, and so they were like, Jump was like, no, we want you to either be a lot more wholesome so we can sell it as a like 14 and up series, or you have to be all the way mature so we can sell it like Chainsaw Man, and couldn't do it both ways. But it just like the main things behind the scenes, there's just a lot of connections between the two series, and especially on like the origin of Shy as a franchise and why it the one shot that it was made from is made like in the, I think, what is it? It's around when the first or second MHA film came out, when it was like MHA was at its like peak of popularity, when it was like exploding. But it's very popular for a while, but it did somewhat fall off. Mainly, like I mentioned, the anime is not good. It's the same thing with Loser Ranger, actually. Loser Ranger was like unbelievably popular on release, but the anime isn't very good, and so it fell off immediately. But it was like, it had like a ton of hype.
They're just releasing terrible anime for popular manga.
Soul Eater another example of that from what I hear?
Yeah, like there's
Soul Eater anime is good. It's just it's like not. It's not the same story.
Not at all what you want.
Yeah,
like, it's not at all
the same story. Yeah.
So it's like,
which like it's fine in some sense, but like obviously it's like kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
So,
but like Tokyo Ghoul's the same. That series fell off the cliff, and like people, it has a dedicated community, but people don't really talk about it the same way they used to, because like it just is ass. The anime is, and like it's such a shame to have like really good series that are just like, because the studios didn't give a shit, it's like completely fallen out of the public eye.
Well, that's why it's a matchup. The reason why it got suggested is because one of the casts, I was supposed to be on a cast with a different matchup, and someone else had other things to do, and Claire basically just went, "Oh, we can do this, so you can actually be on a cast."
Yeah.
We have a little behind the scenes. We're gonna, in a few casts, it'll be a non-regular cast. It won't be like a normal debate, like how we always have it. And Mugen, we wanted him on it, and we're like, oh, it'd be good if he had debated a cast beforehand, and then the cast he was gonna do got like delayed, and we're like, shit. And I was like, oh, I could do this one in like a week. Like we could get this one done pretty quick.
I mean, we do have another Mugen matchup coming up for, as we said before. We have a Sonic matchup, so guess the matchup.
Yes.
Guess the matchup, guys.
Yeah.
all right. So I feel like I should ask, what exactly are the power sets of the characters? If you can like get into some of the versus stuff.
That's
what
what
we'll
we're
probably do. Yeah, we'll do the end. Yeah. Oh, I say we could.
Yeah, let's start with intros, because I don't know Shy, but I guess we'll start with me because
everyone knows
the story is pretty simple. Yeah, like a vast majority of people watching this cast know the story of Izuku Midoriya, but for those not in the know, let's provide a small recap. Not all men are created equal. A harsh lesson Izuku Midoriya learned at the tender age of 4. He was born into the 20% of the population who were quirkless, while the 80% had quirks ranging from having a spray bottle for a head to having the ability to literally implant rules onto reality. Doesn't matter if it's God or biological evolution, both clearly have their favorites. This, of course, was heartbreaking for Izuku. Wanted nothing more than to be a hero and save people with a smile on his face, just like his idol, All Might. But it didn't stop him. Even with next to no support, his classmates and teachers bullying him, he continued chasing that dream, analyzing and taking notes of heroes, their quirks, their battle tactics, personalities, etc. But even after a really bad day, Izuku's resolve to save people was unshakable, and it was proven when, while heroes scrambled to find ways to save Katsuki Bakugo from the sludge villain, his body moved before he could think, sprinting into the fire to save the asshole who literally told him to swan dive off the roof of a building not even a few hours prior. This act inspired a weakened All Might to go beyond his limits and save the two boys, and while Izuku was chewed out for being reckless, All Might saw something in him that no one else ever did, his drive to save lives. So after following him on his way home, he took back his words from earlier that day, proclaiming that the young man in front of him can become a hero, and that he was worthy of his powers. You see, what Izuku didn't know, nor the rest of the population for that matter, is that their symbol of peace, All Might, the man single-handedly responsible for dropping crime rate percentages wherever he was located, just because he was known he was in the vicinity, was once quirkless just like him. His quirk was passed down to him like a torch from his master, whose master had passed it on down to her, whose master had passed it down to him. You get the point. And with his hero career running on borrowed time after an injury he sustained 5 years ago, All Might decided Izuku would be the 9th wielder of One for All. From that moment forward, Izuku would train like hell, receive One for All, break a lot of bones, try to learn how to control it, attend the school of his dreams, fight villains, save people, push One for All to its singularity, unlocking the quirks of the previous wielders, fight in wars, and save the world. He showed everyone that Deku wasn't the name of someone useless or worthless, but a hero who could do anything.
That's cute.
Very
wow. I'm gonna pause for that one.
Man, they explain more of Deku's backstory than Death Battle.
Oh god,
crazy.
Do people not like both of Deku's runs?
People like them, but the first one's actually pretty good when we went back and watched it. But the second one is just missing like a lot of stuff. I think they literally have a similar like the Deku who can do anything bit, like because that's it's a very good line to end an analysis with. But they don't explain what Deku means, so that line means nothing. It's just like what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like you think even if people liked his rundown in Deku Asta, if they did, which I hear it's pretty okay received.
It's fine.
It's like, why would you try and actively make it worse? Like,
it's the Batman thing. It's like they do the like, clearly you know about this character, so we're just gonna TLDR it. When like, no, you should probably do these from the ground up, especially if it's like.
I think maybe they were assuming that people had watched Izuku versus Asta prior, but it doesn't make up for the fact that his second analysis wasn't all that good.
Well, that's the thing the Batman one did, because what's it like Black Panther literally says on screen, like, as mentioned in Batman versus Captain America, and it's like, just say it again. Like, you don't have to hit it as reference.
What if you're a Marvel fan?
People.
Well, yeah, what if you're a Spider-Man fan or a Marvel fan and just decide, oh, I'll watch this one, and then you've not seen, you're not a Black Clover guy, you've not seen that.
Yeah. They're supposed to be standalone episodes, not like a serialized thing.
Name or a remake or anything,
Yeah. Anyways, we'll rant about Death Battle another time. I'm praised them. I'm praised them as well. We love the
show. We promise.
Yeah, let's get into the character that requires probably for further context. Yeah. Who was Shy?
So similar to if you saw Red Keeper's cast, I'm going to explain basically the TLDR of the story as well, and then get into it. It's not going to be super long though, and I will be avoiding. This is for people who maybe have seen the anime and some of the manga. I won't be spoiling the ending of the manga. No feats from there really matter, aside one ability that doesn't matter for Deku. It's like it's an ability that he would just. It's like specifically something he resists, so it doesn't matter. So if you're worried about spoilers, there's one spoiler I will say later, and that is it. And so you will be, and I'll make sure to let you know. But I can get into it. So one day in a world, just like our own, the planet was on the brink of war. The hatred humanity held for another kept bottling up until every single nation became a target for conflict. However, a group of individuals rushed to the safety of humanity. They protected everyone equally and fought for peace with their unique powers. They were heroes. With their transformation bracelets, they were able to obtain insane power in order to save the people around the world, and no one was a better example of this than Shine. Shine was the hero of Japan, and she stood tall to protect not just her country, but everyone in the world, as she viewed life as something so sacred that no matter what it took, she would try to protect anybody. However, this cast is not about Shine. This is about a girl named Teru, the younger sister of Shine. And while her sister was a paragon of justice and a woman who could stand in front of a million villains and never fall down, Teru was the complete opposite. She thought she could never be a hero, and absolutely nothing like her sister. But one day, after a mission, Shine did not come home. She was killed in action, and the only thing she left behind were her transformation bracelets. Teru spent the next couple of years trying to understand herself and obtain the power her sister left for her. So, in Shy, the heroes are empowered by their emotions. Think of those transformation bracelets as miniature lantern rings. If your heart's in the right place, you'll unlock the power, which is strengthened by your willpower. It's quite literally Green Lantern rules. Once Shy finally managed to transform, she thought maybe that's it. Maybe now she could be a hero. Saving others was all it took to heal the loneliness and isolation she felt. But the harshness of the world kept standing against her. For a couple of years, Shy really only had to do like minor hero work, like saving a cat from a tree or helping people cross the street. But during that time, the darkness of humanity continued to build. The years of humanity fearing one another and fearing the same fighting that took many of their lives and family members kept bottling up until it overflowed. That fear and that hatred manifested itself into a physical form to show children that while dreaming of a better future is not a sin, the adults who would take that future from you are undeserving of the world they've taken. That group is known as the Amarariku, and they appeared and wanted to basically restructure the world to make children the ones in control, because those children who were abandoned by the heroes, children they couldn't save, and the children who were taken out by bloodshed. And their first act is to destroy the entirety of Hero Society, as that's a lie that's basically plaguing the society as a whole. And their number one target is Teru, the sister of the previous number one hero. But despite all of her self-loathing and anxiety, Teru proved herself again and again that within her burned the true heart of a hero. And fittingly, she has fire abilities, alongside a somewhat mastery of swordsmanship. I can get into it. And despite how she may seem, Shy is a powerhouse who's going to outshine Deku.
Okay.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Another swordsman that Deku is fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swordsman and fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deku just gets put against every single anime protagonist, but this one specifically, I see it.
Yeah, if you are a teenager with superpowers in any regard, you could even not be a teenager, or you could not have superpowers. Sometimes it's either. You will fight Deku. It's like seeing Mark Grayson on a chart. He could be fighting anyone. Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. She sounds like... so, did you say her older sister was named Shine? And her name is Shy?
Yeah, Shine.
Yes, her name is Shine.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because the main thing is that because her sister was like a beacon of light for the world, and then she's taken out, and so Shy has to follow in her footsteps. But it's... I can explain the power. Actually, we could go ahead and get into abilities, I think, because since I'm already having to say like the swordsmanship and stuff, I can start, and then we can move to Deku's fucking smorgasbord of abilities that he has.
Since you're kind of like not kind of the highlight here, since you're the kind of since your character's the new character that people don't know about. Yeah.
So I mentioned she has fire manipulation, and she can do an insane amount of things with it. She can make pillars of fire. She can make like geysers under the ground that like explode heat from you to like slowly melt you. She can make like firecrackers that are like basically the solar flare. I can't remember the name. If you've ever seen Avatar, she can fly around like Azula by like kicking flames from her feet.
Cool.
And she can also like absorb fire and absorb heat, kind of like Natsu from Fairy Tail. And one thing that she has that I'll mention here a little bit. I mentioned the power is all from the soul and emotions. Her fire burns as hot as she can get her emotions to be. Basically, it's like kind of it's like Hulk. How Hulk gets angry, the stronger the angry he is.
Right.
And whenever, if you know, like, there's abilities that are like willpower negation and stuff to make you not want to keep fighting. Think like the Multiverse Labyrinth from Simone Kyle.
Yeah.
She has an explicit counter to moves like that. Obviously, it's not on the same scale, but like there are characters who can drain willpower from her series that she's immune to because of her flames. And then I want to get into her swordsmanship. So with her, when Shai was on the verge of death, she was given a blade called the Purity Blade. This is a sword that basically fights for you. It just reacts to her willpower and her belief in herself. And so literally without any training, she's able to match people who are like skilled in their entire lives. Purity has one main ability, which is it's a sentient sword. So what it can do is if it touches anyone, so if the person holding the handle slashes or even just pokes you with it, or even you can just touch the sword in any way, it will tell the wielder everything that it needs to know about you. So it'll tell them your favorite food, how old you are, where you went to middle school, but also, which I think is important here, it tells you their abilities at a like all of the abilities they have. For Teru, it tells another girl all of the fire abilities she has, and so she's able to like immediately know what she's gonna do. Like, cause she's like, oh, you have this move, so I can avoid that or whatever. And I think like that's something that will be super useful against a character who, as we'll get into, has a million abilities, you know?
Ridiculous so much.
But, and then I think, yeah, I'll save the other equipment for later, just because I feel like those are more, they require a lot more context. So if you want, you could get into Deku's abilities.
Yeah.
Just talk about his arsenal.
Right, okay. Well, obviously, you got to start with the base power of One for All, which is a combination of, stockpiling that All for One forced onto Yoichi, the first user, who then passes down the quirk with his original quirk, and over each generation that he's passing, that the quirk is passed down, the quirk continues to stockpile strength, and that also enhances the previous wielder's quirks as well. One for All, base One for All is just a simple power and speed enhancer, durability, just basically makes him super strong, super fast, super tough. Black Whip was the first quirk that he unlocked after One for All reached its singularity. It allows him to manipulate these energy tendrils all across his body. Can even infuse themselves into his muscles to control them when he's busted up and beaten. The next quirk he unlocked was Float, which pretty simple. It allows him to float, but in combination with his Air Force, which is basically him flicking gusts of wind, he can essentially fly.
Right.
His next ability is Danger Sense, probably one of his most useful quirks. It allows him. It basically acts as a spidey sense. Just warns him of danger incoming or to other people. Next is Smokescreen. Bit of a letdown, going from literally spidey sense to he can like create some smoke. There's literally not much else more to it. He can like control how much he outputs. Like he can do small smoke screens and then like really big ones, but it's not all that. all that useful unless it's used by him.
Yeah,
it's an ability that you see the wish and you're like, sure, I guess I'll take it.
Why
Like,
not?
But his next quirk, probably a bit more powerful than Smokescreen, I'd argue. Fa Jin, which you can see I posted a little note there explaining it because it's a little bit more complicated than the previous quirks. By repeating movements and just like, for example, bouncing up and down on the spot, he can store up kinetic energy and then choose when to release it to make his strikes more powerful or enhance his speed.
Okay.
He uses this in conjunction with one for all at 45% to create a full 100%. When he didn't have the ability to not break his bones with every strike.
Okay.
But at 100%, he can use it to, weirdly enough, combine 5 smash attacks into one, basically multiplying the initial output by 5.
Right. Okay.
And then his final quirk, and probably his most busted, Gear Shift. It allows him to alter anything's speed while ignoring the laws of inertia. So basically, if he were to touch you and say low gear, he would slow you down, and even if you were in the process of accelerating, you would halt immediately.
Right.
And he can obviously speed himself up fast enough to perception blitz Shigaraki, which we'll bring up later in speed.
I have a question for Gear Shift. So it requires like physical touch, right? Does it work through his whips, or is it like just his hands? Because I actually just don't know this.
I'm pretty sure it should be able to work through his whips, because he can combine the quirks. Like with Fa Jin, he can combine it and Black Whip to create the black chains, which are just stronger overall and look really cool.
So it's like most likely he can, since every other quirk can be mixed with stuff.
Okay.
So pretty. So Deku, at first, he's pretty much punch kick man, but like he's obviously got his weird quirks like the smoke screen, but he's got mobility with Black Whip. He can speed himself up, slow you down with a touch, and he can also fly for some reason, which very random character. The more you think about it.
Yeah, he's like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and all rolled into one, and the Flash technically.
I feel like flight is one of those abilities that, like, no matter what franchise it is, they'll want to make characters fly because it's cool. Like, I think, like, JJK and JoJo's, like, both of those shouldn't have flying unless your ability is exclusively to fly. But, like, they'll just let anyone fly. Why not? Like, okay.
It's like, even before he took Unlock Float, he could just maintain himself in the air by, like, kicking in the air. Like, for example, like Might Guy in his 8 gate.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm noticing there's no pyrokinesis, and that sounds like it's a pretty big thing that Shai has that she can counter, and it's just not there. And obviously, you did say we'll get into the sword a bit, and you also said something about willpower potentially being a big factor here. I feel like a lot of stuff we might have to jump into stats a bit, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like the abilities are probably one of the more important things, like the deeper abilities. Yeah. So I think going through stats now is probably the best call.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Do you want to go first, Claire?
Sure. I'll go through the AP first, and then you can go speed. I like AP and Dura.
Here it comes.
Just base, like, early series Shai is able to, like, stop train cars with literally do the Spider-Man thing. She would directly scale to, there's this shield that the character Hollow makes. It's the second image in my notes. And it is stated to be something that no explosive or weapon in the Japanese military could scratch. And Shai is literally slammed through it several times during her fight with Hollow. And it's like shattered from her body being slammed into it.
All right.
And then if you go down to Shai's scaling, the first image is a character named Sventa. She was able to flash freeze a huge chunk of this orphanage in a few seconds, and that's about 3 kilotons.
Poor kids. What the fuck?
Similarly, she's not a very good person. And then Kafufu is another character who similarly she creates a don't worry about the names. I'll explain it just a moment.
Don't worry about the names. It's fine.
Kafufu was able to. She created an explosion that eclipsed the Tokyo skyline, which has been calculated around 4 kilotons. So a very similar like estimate.
Consistency. Right.
Yeah. Her base form is early kilotons. Later forms would scale substantially higher. Just see, where is that image? Shoot. Trying to get the exact number just because I'm. Oh, there it is. So it's the final image of the. It's called the like Uniblast or whatever, and that's just a scale from Versus Wiki. Basically, we'll get into it because these series have a lot of cloud feats. It's just what they're known for. Old man scales clouds as he would, and when the blast fires, it clears a storm cloud across the entire planet, which has been count to like 60 something petatons at like very low ends. Which is like, and mind you, I still have more that I'll say for later, but that's like in her. So Shai has she has her base form, which is just her and her outfit. It's the one that's on the thumbnail. Right. Then she has where she kind of covers herself in flames and moves faster and is a bit stronger. And then she has a final form that I'll get into later because that's the spoiler. That's the very big spoiler. I'll have to say for a little bit. And the blast that cleared the clouds is something scalable to her second form. Her first form is seemingly just like early kilotons.
Right.
And something I do want to mention, this is something that I think both characters have, is they both can take an ass beating. Shai, at several points in her series, gets like, literally she's on the ground like a puddle of blood, and she's just able to keep standing. And I think like Deku's a similar character, so it's like, I don't think a single really, really good hit's not putting either of them down. I think it would take like extremely, what's the right word for it? Like extremely devastating hits to put them down for good.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into Deku's like early AP stuff.
Well, in regards to early AP stuff, Izuku's weird in that he didn't have full control over his power at the beginning, so stuff like Full Cal didn't come until late into season 2, and even then, the feats that he performs with Full Cal kind of act like they did when he didn't use it. Like against Muscular, he, and like after he was saved by Kota, distracted Muscular, he got it in himself to go to 1,000,000%, which the author has confirmed it wasn't really 1,000,000%. It was just like the most that he can muster out of himself to beat the enemy in front of him. And it almost obliterated a cliffside.
Okay.
He also scales to Bakugo's Howitzer Impact, which was able to create a massive blast in the side of a cliff when he defeated the Serpenters in the third movie. Yeah, the third movie.
Okay.
But those are just like 20%, like 30% level of Full Cal. The real scaling starts to come when you get to 45%. There is one feat which I would like to bring up later because I feel like I'll need it. But I'll go for the low end estimation of the feat first, just to like get it out there.
Quintatons. It's like
during the fourth MHA movie, Izuku fought against Dark Might, who's basically just a pale imitation of All Might. And he was riding around this massive fucking ship because he's got a huge ego. And by the end of the fight, Izuku basically goes sicko mode, but not at 100%. He thought that guy didn't deserve to be beaten at 100%.
Oh wow.
So,
Jeez.
yeah, it wasn't explicitly said, but I don't see a reason why he wouldn't use 100% here if he thought that he needed to. But he was able to split Dark Might ship clean in half with a single kick, which...
Also, do you reckon that Dark Might's the, like, of all characters in the entire franchise, he's the one Deku hated the most?
Sounds like it.
Oh yeah, no, he straight up
Yeah,
like a people.
he fucking named all 50 states on his ass. Like,
But low estimates put that at around 29, nearly 30 petatons of TNT. Isn't bad. Doesn't match the 60 though. But that'll be saved for the higher end stuff. I will mention that there is a certain multiplier in the room that should be taken account.
Address me.
Okay.
what's got to address this multiplier?
It's the Prime Might multiplier. Basically, the thing that is used to scale Prime Might, since all we've ever seen is, well, All Might after his injury and passing down One for All. So All Might stated that he could have beaten the Nomu in 5 blows, but because of his state the now, he was only able to do it in 300. So doing a little bit of math, you can find that All Might in his prime would be 60 times more powerful by his own estimation.
Right.
So applying that to the Dark Might split ship feat, you would get around 1.7 exatons of TNT for Izuku at the peak of his powers, so 100%.
Jeez, that's higher than I think I've heard. Okay.
It doesn't help that every MHA matchup since like the finale has been a like Giga Stomp, so it doesn't matter. But like most of the time, no one adds the Prime All Might to like a multiplier to it because it doesn't need it. Like it's like you don't need Bakugo doesn't need exatons to beat Reze truthfully, so it doesn't matter. You just like,
in my opinion, Bakugo just doesn't scale to Izuku because he's a massive bitch.
Yeah. Something I forgot to bring up, and I'm just going to say this really quickly. If anyone has watched the anime for Shy and is confused on the names I say, if you've ever seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and know how every single name is translated differently because they're all references, Shy is the same way. Every single character is like a reference. Like there's a character whose name is like literally David Jones, and his ability, his signature move is Ashes to Ashes. He's David Bowie. He's literally just David Bowie, like his real name. And so they changed it. Every single character had to have that because, copyright. So if you're wondering, like, why is this character named this? Like, why am I using that name? I'm using the actual, like, original names, not the the new ones. I just remember that. Sorry.
I do have a question, Claire, and it is in regards to durability. Does Shy's durability scale to her AP? Because Izuku's definitely does, because he faces the backlash of his quirk.
So for the Unit Blast, yes, because the Unit Blast, if you see in the first panel, it is aimed at a dome and it does not scratch it. That dome is completely unharmed, and later Shy is shattered, like she slammed into it and the thing shatters. So like she would scale to that at the very least. The highest end feats, no, she would not durability scale to the highest end feats.
Okay, that's important.
So I would say like her durability probably caps at like the low-ish petatons. Well, no, because she's scaled to the Uniblast, which is early, which is a couple like dozen petatons. But I think the like highest end scaling, it wouldn't be able to. She would scale to 1 feet, but it's more of a resistance than it is a durability thing.
Right. Okay.
But if you want, we could go ahead and move to speed, since I feel like that's
let's do some low end speed stuff. Should I go first this time? Since
continue on.
as early as like season 1 and 2, characters are able to react to and move out of the way of Kaminari's lightning, which is just massively hypersonic. Pretty simple stuff. There's arguments for fast and light stuff at the beginning of the series because of Aoyama's laser, but it's a bit contentious, so a lot of the FTL stuff is saved for around the end of the series. For example, Shigaraki and his light-catching feat, or Stars and Stripes avoiding his radio waves, or even All Might, or Armored Might now, avoiding radio waves and lasers from All For One at very close ranges, which has been calculated to around 1.6 times the speed of light, 1.7, which isn't too bad, I'd say. And obviously, Izuku scales above every single one of them, being the strongest hero by the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Strongest teacher on Earth. That's crazy.
Just you wait until that fucking suit of armor is like scaled to reversal.
Oh no.
Yeah, I won't be shocked if he gets a movie where you see him fight in that suit. Like, I feel like that's like the logical. Like, if they want to milk MHA a little more, we'll get that.
Hopefully, it would be nice to see.
How many movies did they have a deal for? Because I remember they I read somewhere that they were planning on making a ton of movies.
I don't know. I think I might have heard of it back then, but it's like kind of faded away over time. But
yeah,
the thing with the suit is like, it says it replicates the powers of One For All, but like, how the hell is it supposed to replicate like gear shift?
Yeah, like the least replicatable thing ever. I looked it up. Apparently, it was they wanted to do 6 films or something like that, but they just like were like, oh, that's a bit too zealous, so they just did them as they went. So, I won't be shocked if we get more. But yeah, I can get.
What do we have for shy stuff? Yeah.
So, need to look up how to say his name. I read the series. His name is Seva Wangchai, I think is how you say it. He's the hero of China. He fires lightning similar to the Kaminari example, and like characters are able to consistently dodge and react to it. He's even like blitzed later in the series by a character who's not even specialized in speed. He's just kind of shit on. He just gets kind of dumpstered. Although that's the same with Kaminari. Kaminari is like kind of shit on pretty often, but even though like he should be more impressive. But similarly, I have an image it's near the bottom, it's in Shy Speed Scaling. The character, Piltz, she has a cannon that's literally called the MRI cannon. If you don't know how MRI machines work, they use magnets to basically send radio waves onto you to scan your body. Radio waves move at the speed of light, and that's literally what she fires from the cannon. Characters are able to react and mostly dodge it. The main example is the panel I show where he's able to react to it and he dodges it by a hair. And like similarly, there are other characters who fight with radio waves, and even her sister, which I have the panel of the manga itself explaining her ability. She is quite literally stated to fire beams of light and move at the speed of light. Her signature move is the faster than light punch. So like very consistent FTL. Yeah, pretty on the nose, but very consistent, FTL scaling. There is one thing. So her sister, it's the ability called Diving Through Myself. It's the second ability on her. It's like a little panel basically showing how she killed time because she was always bored. And she moves so fast that her own after images are physical enough for her to interact with them. This is something that like would be pretty like very consistently 5 to 10 times FTL at like a very low end. And considering it shows 3 different examples of it, like that she's able to do it 3 times at once. But if you take this little Discord message that I got from a certain Mugen Kage, says, occupying 2 places in space at once through raw speed is infinite speed. I wonder, well, that's 3 times at once. So clearly, good old infinite speed feat. Yeah. Given, and mind you, this isn't me saying this. This is a certain other person on this cast.
It's definitely me. What Claire didn't provide was the follow-up to that, because I immediately kind of clocked on to what was going on and realized that she was trying to do some infinite speed stuff with Shy. So I brought up the Sonic argument from Sonic Prime. Yes, I know. Me bringing up Sonic, who would have guessed?
Yes, the best show ever, yes.
So the difference I
can't
find
go one
between-
day without mentioning Sonic.
No, I can't go an hour without mentioning them. So the difference between these two feats, the one in Prime and the one being shown here, is that was that Shine?
Yeah, Shine.
Those after images, you can't really tell if she's interacting with them. She's going through them. Was it after moving at super speed and leaving after images? She goes through her after images. So after images aren't really tangible. They're just kind of what would you could describe as like displaced light from moving
Something like
fast?
that, yeah.
Something like that. Whereas with Sonic, he literally high-fived himself and created sound from it just by moving fast. Like, the difference is with the after images, they fade away and blah blah blah, and they're there for a very short period of time, not long enough to actually create any like physical contact. Whereas with Sonic, he is to high-five himself and actually create sound, he would have to be occupying two places in space at once, like actually through raw speed. So
Fair, I am kidding with the infinite speed,
obviously, but I think I'd have had to explain myself.
I do have a somewhat more tangible speed calc for the. This is one of the better feats in the series, if I can get the image for it. So that Unilord blast, she not only is firing from space, but she is collecting energy from across the entire globe to fire at once. And just in doing that, like, because of where we've seen in several bits in the series, I'm posting the scan in notes. We see the distance in the manga from the, like, it's kind of like the orbital space station that all the heroes hang out in. To go from every country on Earth to the spaceship to Earth within about a generously 10 seconds. It would be like 8 to 9 times the speed of light, like just for that blast. And several characters, I think later on in higher form, in their like super forms, are able to like interact with that or react to it. And so I think like once she's transformed, like using her bracelets, it around early FTL, and then later on with her other transformations, like 5 to 10 times FTL, I would put pretty consistently where her speed is, like where her speed would probably cap.
Interesting. I should have brought your shift a bit earlier, because I did mention that he was able to perception blitz Shiggy, who is able to react to all those light speeds feats. And even with Danger Sense later on, Izuku was able... Well, Shiggy stole Danger Sense, and Izuku was still able to tag him, which is very impressive, considering Danger Sense is nigh on precognition.
So, let's see. I feel like next we could, since you mentioned it and you were talking about it, we could probably get into their equipment and like go more in depth with their abilities, because like I left out quite a bit for Shy because I didn't want to spoil people immediately.
The sword mainly,
and then we could. Actually, it's not the sword. The sword is probably the least important part of her kit. She uses it a lot, but she never. It's like very not important. So first, I need to explain the black rings. These are an object she gets from basically the one who froze the orphanage or the one who had the bomb feed. They are the villains of the series. How I mentioned Shy's transformation bracelets are based on her willpower and like emotions. The black rings are the reverse. They are all the negative emotions you can feel manifested in a physical object. So it is the complete opposite. And during 2 separate arcs, whenever she basically Takano jutsus the villain into stepping down and stopping fighting, the villain will feel bad, and because the specific cases are without their black rings, they'll die, but they also don't want to keep living. They're like, they're ready to move on to the afterlife. They give her their rings and she's able to use their powers. So the main one, the first one that she gets is Hollow's ring, where it is wind powers. She can control the wind. She can make tornadoes. She can make wind clones. So she can clone herself up to 10 separate times. And weirdly enough, these clones are like, they bleed, even though they should be made of wind. And also, she can clone her like sword. And even though it is made of wind, it clashes with the real purity blade like it's made of steel. Like seemingly they are like physical, tangible things, and not, even though like, because the description is quite literally, they're wind made to look just like her and fight just like her. However, they physically bleed and are able to like do stuff that wind shouldn't. It's really, they clearly just wanted her to clone herself, basically. And then the other one she gets is a ring from a character called Quabara, or Quabala, whatever scan you used. So her gimmick is ghost powers. She is a ghost. And she gets 4 abilities from this. The first one is telekinesis. I don't have a scan for this because it's a very not important ability, truthfully. She uses it like once. However, the other 3 I think are substantially more important. The first one is invisibility. And this is like to a point where characters who are able to see souls and see ghosts can't see her. She also gets complete intangibility. So similarly, characters who can interact with the soul can't interact with her. She is completely impossible to see or perceive when she uses both of them. There is a catch. It kind of works like the invincibility in Mega Man, where she can't use her powers when she's in it because she's intangible. It's going to go right through you. But she can, position herself wherever she needs. And then the third one, which is somewhat situational, but it is important, is possession. If she gets behind the back of anybody, she can take over their body. And this is something that happens very consistently. The only character in the cast who is able to resist this is Shy herself, because she covers herself in fire. And from that, I should get into the ability her fire has, because her fire isn't normal fire. So I mentioned in her intro that all the villains basically target her. The reason isn't just that she's the sister of the #1 hero. That's a reason. But the main one is that her fire burns so hot, it burns the soul as well. And I can get into 3 abilities to explain this. So the first is called Blazing Summer Star. She erupts herself into flames, and the fire is so hot that she can't be possessed. Like a ghost, one of the character who I just mentioned tries to possess her, and then she's burned away, and she feels like physical pain, and she's like doesn't know what's going on. And then the other 2 are, I think, the most important for this matchup, as it is a direct hard counter to Deku, because as he just mentioned, Deku loses one of his quirks, so they can be taken out of him. So the first ability is called the State of Non-Self. Her bracelets connect her soul to the soul of whoever she just touched. So like she basically rushes you, and then she grabs you, and then it connects your soul with hers. And what she can do from there is she's able to physically pull souls from the body and then leave. So it's like literally she can forcefully just remove quirks from them if she wanted to. It does require, they can fight back. However, the second ability is the more important one. It's called Heart Lantern, and I have several pictures for this because it's, I think, literally the most important ability for this entire matchup, in my opinion. So what she can do is, whenever her flames touch somebody, she is able to connect with them the same way as her last ability. However, it is put in a neutral space where no one can fight. She can't fight, they can't fight, they just talk. And what happens there is she slowly drains the other person's willpower and forcefully basically makes the spirits in their body pass to the afterlife. You even see it with Quabara. Quabara literally standing there and talking to her, and as she's talking, she's starting to pass on, and this happens several times throughout the story. Hollow is an example of this, and later on there's another character who this happens to, where she can effectively force lingering spirits or lingering souls to detach from a body and pass on. And I think that's legitimately, like, against a character like Deku, he's just going to be a quirkless, he's just going to be just a dude at the end of the fight. Like if her fire hits him, she can start basically slowly burning away. And it's not even a 1-by-1, because if it was 1-by-1, it's like, okay, well, he's lost smoke screen, but he's got, oh no, he's lost smoke screen. Oh, that's really rough. She's able to do this to like several people at once. You see this in the Hollow fight. She's able to separate two souls at the same time when they both don't really, one of them's unconscious and the other one doesn't want to be separated, but she's still able to force it. So it's not even like oh well, if Nana Shimura refused to go, that's not a factor. It doesn't matter if you don't want to, she can force your soul to pass on, so you will go to the afterlife. And I feel like that's something that would be really effective against Deku as a character. There's also one other thing. She has a very minor regeneration. The black rings, when you put them on, they will heal your body. You will feel it, but like later when you take them off. But like a character named Iku, she breaks her leg in the first arc, and she gets a black ring on her, and her leg is completely fixed. So it's like, even if Deku got like a really good hit on her as she's trying to as her fire is slowly burning away at his quirks, she could regenerate it with by putting on either Hollow or Quabara's rings. So that's
very interesting.
Basically all of her abilities. There's like a few minor ones, but that's the main ones I think that are important here, is the soul manipulation and the like minor healing and intangibility, because I think it is kind of just like a put on the ring, go intangible, or like burn them in any way, go intangible, and then it's just a time game, really.
I mean, we're just about an hour in, so that sounds like pretty much the perfect
I haven't
counter.
responded yet.
So
I haven't responded yet.
I'm about to get to that. Yeah. Do you have a response to that? Because I don't think, to me at least, I don't know.
He's all, for equipment, he's got like his Air Force gloves that allow him to like shoot air bullets and stuff, and then the iron soles for his shoes, which basically acts as a multiplier of sorts. He can double the output of damage he does with kicks, but that's less important. That's more AP stuff. I've discussed his abilities at tandem, so I'll go into a bit of his resistances, specifically stuff to kind of counter the soul manipulation stuff. At the end of MHA, Izuku reaches into Shigaraki's soul after literally punching all the quirks of One for All into his soul, breaking a barrier of hatred that he made up to keep people out. And in there, Izuku was able to hold on to Shigaraki's hands and stop himself from fully decaying. This damage eventually did transfer over into the real world, but he wasn't dead. His arms were just gone. This is also important because Izuku does have very good resistances to heat manipulation, like Bakugo and his nitroglycerin explosions, which can reach temperatures of 5,000 degrees. There's Nine's lightning storms, which can reach temperatures of 28,000 degrees. Then the more important stuff, characters like Shiggy and people who scale to him are able to not be burnt to cinders by Tiamat missiles, which are nuclear and can reach temperatures of 100 million degrees. And then All Might, and Izuku would directly scale to All Might in every sense of the word, can punch superheated plasma or beings made of superheated plasma, which can reach temperatures of 100 to 150 million degrees. So in terms of burning away the soul, it's very unlikely that Izuku would be affected by that, or characters that scale relative to him and have that soul manipulation resistance. For the separating soul bit.
Oh, I want to say real quick, the flames burning your soul isn't like an AP thing. Like that is something that like obviously she's able to do this to characters who she couldn't hurt physically. Like that's how she unlocks the ability. Even she fights someone who's beating her ass, and she's like, "How do I beat them? How do I beat them?" And then she's like, "Oh, I can separate the people inside of her." So
well, either way, even discarding the temperature stuff, he does resist having his soul decayed.
True, but does every one for all user like inside of him individually getting pushed to the afterlife. I don't think that would like
that one is a little bit more contentious for me
because that's the thing. Like, I think that it's
I definitely argue the souls being separated from one for all, because to do that you would have to have a higher willpower than all 9 of the users combined, which is very difficult.
I think that's legitimately in Terror's wheelhouse, but continue.
But willpower in MHA is fucking stupid. Like, for example, Shigaraki, through sheer willpower, was able to revive himself from the dead just because. With willpower, he was able to guard his soul by just being very, very spiteful and hateful. And this one is the real kicker. Through sheer will of wanting to save Eri and obviously the Overhaul, Izuku was able to avoid the future that Night Eye had predicted for him of dying to Overhaul. And this is consistent because this also happened with All Might. He predicted All Might to die at the hands of All for One, and through wanting to save All Might, Izuku and Bakugo were able to basically ignore that fate, that destiny. So willpower in MHA goes a very long way.
I don't know if I can bypass straight up just having a vestige deleted, but
there's an argument to be made.
You mentioned the heat, and I'll get into Shai's best direct feat. This is something.
All right, this is high end.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
You can get into the really high ends. So during the second arc in the series, this is the season 2 finale. They need to clear the darkness across the world because, of plot reasons. And you see, I put the pictures in notes, but also I have the scan and the calc in my document. They literally directly say, "Become our sun." And then she says something along the lines of like, "This flame, as warm as the sun, this is my light," etc., etc. Like it is stated verbatim several times. She's basically creating a small sun, and scaling the size of that. Not only would it be like nearly 200 exatons feet, for her fire to be as hot, even relative in the ballpark, like 10 million degrees Celsius up to like 15 degrees Celsius, 15 million degrees Celsius, it'd be like bare minimum for her to be relative. And you even see like in that same arc and like for most of that chapter, it's burning in the sky across the entire globe. Like it is verbatim as hot as the sun. So I think that like the heat thing, like at literal worst, if you assume the superheated plasma is as hot as the sun, which is what it would have to be, like for Deku, it would be, comparable at least, and it still would it would affect him in a way that like I think he couldn't heal from. However, I do need to get into one ability because this giga spoilers for chapter 180 of Shai. So Shai, because she hates herself and because she has a lot of, anxiety and depression, she always viewed herself as lesser than her sister. That's just that's the way she is. That's the way that, she never saw herself as equal. However, later on, when she goes through a lot of character development, she gets a form called the Scarred Transformation. I have it in my notes. Her hair goes longer, and it is verbatim stated she gets power equal to her sister. And it has this small drawback where the second she de-transforms, she is knocked unconscious and nearly dies. Like so it'd be similar to if you saw Might Guy versus All Might, where Might Guy practically kills himself in the end, but he wins. Like he wins for the fight. However, afterwards he's on the floor, like about a keel over. It would be a similar thing here. Like she would be on the floor bleeding out, but she would win the fight. And this is like, so the reason I bring that up. The feat of her making a small sun is amped by the two other characters there, because one of them projects the range and the other two give her power. However, not only is one of those two characters is Hollow, so with Hollow's ring, that is base kit. That's just more power she has to her. And then the other character, Mai, she is far eclipsed by the Scarred Transformation. Like there is. And mind you, this is something that, because I mentioned earlier, Shine's ability is literally creating light. It is all, it's all based on light. I think that it directly one-to-one scaling to her Scar transformation is very, I think, fair. And if you think this is the high end, there is one other feat that this is, I think, the biggest feat in the series. There's a character, his name is, what is his name? His name is Sentry. He's the American superhero. And Sentry. He's about to fight Superboy Prime. His power is gravity. And if you see on the second panel in, it's called Black Hole, he creates a black hole, as you could assume. And that black hole is, from the next panel, you see the girl who stands within it to counter it. She is she's about 150 centimeters tall, and scaling to the black hole itself. That would put it at very, this is a low-end calc that I got. It would be about 86 times planetary. It is a unbelievably strong feat. And this is something that Shine would directly outscale, because they say that they used to train together and she could beat the shit out of him and he, around that point, literally verbatim says, I couldn't beat Shine even if she hadn't trained a day from the day she died. And that's something that I think, if she gets to her Scar transformation, which is not hard to do, all it requires her to do is basically she needs to feel negative emotions. But as I mentioned, the Black Rings channel negative emotions. The entire purpose of them is they are conduits for negative emotions to be used as power. She wears 2 of them. So I think her using those to turn into her Scar transformation and then just obliterating Deku AP wise, or even if she gets her fire on him and then he tries to at that point she gets her fire but he gets gear shift so she can't move. He's not killing her in that time, and those quirks are going to be picked off as they go, and eventually he's just a dude. He's just going to be some guy on the battlefield waiting.
Right. So pretty tough sell there for me. Gotta try and combat that. So earlier, I didn't bring this up. I forgot to, and it would have matched the 60 petaton thing. I had a recount of the Bakugo and Izuku versus 9 Stormcloud feat done 3 years ago, and the results of that got up to around, depending on the condensity of the water, it could be around 6.9 petatons up to 68.9 petatons at 100% water condensity, which is less likely, but there ends there. I asked around, and people said, while the math there is very much correct, there was stuff missing that could bump the feat up further. So I asked El Cato, who we've mentioned previously, to add in the things that he thinks is necessary. And he did, and somehow he got the feat up to 2,313 petatons. Just from the added stuff, not even the original purpose of the calc, just fucking around with radiant speeds and rotational kinetic energy. With the Primite multiplier, that would send the feat up to around, well, depending on the end, 10%, 139 exatons, 20%, 139, 50, 140, 100, 142 exatons. Then you add on the Fa-Zhen quintuple Detroit Smash multiplier, which is 5 times, and that brings it up to a staggering, well, basically 700 exatons across the board for each of the feats. And then for Kex, you could maybe add the 2 times one from the Iron Souls, but you don't really need it. To combat the other one, I'd like to point out, I don't believe this in the slightest, but...
What happens? I'll send you the chapters.
No. Not in regards to...
Oh, you mean what you're about to say. Oh, yeah. I know you're talking.
So, I mentioned earlier when I was bringing up the Dark Might ship feat, that there was a low-end calculation, which was multi-cont, but apparently some crazy motherfucker managed to get it up to small planetary somehow, and then adding on the Prime Might multiplier and the Fajin multiplier got it to around, what is it, 32 times planetary? Yeah. So it's impressive, but it's not as impressive as Shy's, I'll admit. Mm-hmm. However, there is one more thing that I have up my sleeve, and it's speed. During the final war arc, Kyoka Jiro, just earphone jack, was able to intercept All For One's radio waves after they were fired and almost directly at Hawks, which has been calculated to around 60 times the speed of light. And that's just Jiro. No physical enhancements, she just fucking intercepted the radio waves with her quirk. This would obviously upscale, or Izuku would upscale from this massively, and so would Shiggy, and then with Gear Shift, he perception blitzes Shiggy. So that would be even higher. But even just at 60 times, he's, 5 times, 6 times faster than Shy? And even if she went into her Scar transformation, if it did, if her AP or durability did scale to her AP, Izuku is able to slam his quirks into a person's soul to as a last resort in case he can't find a way to properly kill them. So even with the AP and durability advantage, which is only in her Scar transformation, if I'm guessing right, because you did mention earlier that a lot of her higher end feats wouldn't scale to her durability.
Mm-hmm. It would so the black hole feat would be only scalable in her Scar form, and then the sun feat, I should have done this. I didn't think. Honestly, I just didn't think to. They would be 2/3 of that would be in normal form. So 2/3 of almost 200 exatons. Right. Because she has her power and Hollow's power. She's just missing Mai. But
so essentially, what this boils down to is Izuku effortlessly outspeeds and can kill her before she goes into her Scar transformation through raw AP. But he's also susceptible to getting giga stomped in terms of AP back at him. But also, if she does go into her Scar transformation, he can, as a last resort, punch her soul to bits.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good final argument, actually. I don't... we're an hour 15 in. Actually,
yeah, and I'm sweating.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, let me use my
Don't
fan.
worry, we're done. So I feel like we kind of just got your final argument there, Mugen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So Claire, what's your final argument? Go.
So my thing is, I think that with her, she's not insanely outspeed at unless you use, I think, Giga High-Ends for the Zero feat. I mean, there's a reason Totally Death Battle didn't use it for any of their MHA things. I think that AP-wise, in her base form, she is comparable. She is durability-wise, several petatons, AP-wise, several exatons, almost over 100 exatons. And that's base form.
They have relatively equal stats unless you use high ends.
Yeah. And then I think that what really sends it towards her is her regeneration, which is enough to where if she gets hit by Black Whip or an Air Blast and it does several substantial damage, she can just heal with the Black Ring. And then also her soul manipulation, because mind you, she covers herself in flames for her second and third form, and she constantly emits embers from her. That's kind of a main gimmick with her, is she'll show up and you'll see this bright light because she's meant to be a beacon for people. If he rushes in and hits her, he's getting her flames on her, and that's going to start ripping his quirks out of him. And I think also she can just do it from a range, and I think that the range difference is really what's going to help here. Not to mention the fact that with Kabara's ring, if she so much as gets her fire on him, or she gets the sense of, this guy might be a problem, she can go completely invisible and intangible, clone herself 10 times. And one of those clones is going to land a fire hit on him because they all share her abilities, and then that will get the win. I think that even if like all she has to do is, I think she has to say invisibility or something like that, or even I think she just uses one of them. I don't remember. She just has to have the ring on effectively there, and then if she sees that he's an issue, she's like, oh, he's really really fast. All she has to do is activate those abilities, and then even if he has danger sense and like he can maybe avoid them. He can't avoid, like, the clones don't have a specific limit because it's just she can just keep making them out of wind. So if one of them lands a fire hit on him at any point, he's going to start losing quirks. And I think that, especially with how it's not one at a time. It's not like he can pick and choose what quirks to lose. It's like he's losing danger sense at the same speed he's losing like gear shift. And I think that'll basically hand her the win. Plus, I think that in that time, she could also just turn into her Scar form and then just annihilate him in a hit. Like, I think that legitimately that the AP gap from there is immense, and it's something that even if it took her like a dozen hits to land one of those hits is taking him in half, and he can't kill her by then. I think that, and the thing too is if he tried to put his quirks like in her body to like get to kind of get around that. She's resisted souls entering her body several times before. It's the reason she covers herself in flames is specifically to stop people from possessing her. So I think that like that's something that she is well known in doing. A thing too is I forgot to mention this, she has a ability, she can sense souls. She can kind of sense if there are multiple souls in a body. That's why she knows when to use her abilities. So she would see him, be like, oh, he's got 9 souls in a body. I think I should probably cover myself in these soul-destroying flames. I feel like this will be an important one. And then if it gets him, he's done. Like, I think that's pretty consistently how it would go. Like, I understand the speed difference, but I think her abilities are...
I should mention the souls of the previous users reside within his soul, which is protected by his resistance to soul manipulation. So it wouldn't just get to them immediately. Just a minor thing.
Mm-hmm. I still think though, like with that, even if it took longer than it because in her universe, the Kabara fight's like 30 seconds, I think, but also Kabara was pretty easy to convince, truthfully. But I think that like even if it was a couple minutes, he can't hurt her when she's intangible, and she's just gotta wait. She's gotta bide her time, and that's something that she does consistently. Like this is like, it's not even like I'm taking her out of character. It's something that she has done every time she's tried to purify someone, or every time she senses that someone is fighting with multiple souls. Because as soon as the Tokyo mission, which is the second arc in the series, she fights someone who has 2 souls in one body, and she learns how to do this, and she's literally like, oh, this is the way to win. Like if I like she becomes target number 1 of the villains because she keeps doing it. She does it constantly, and they're sick of it because they're like, this girl can purify our souls, we'll go to the afterlife without being able to fight back. We gotta kill her because she is so annoying. And I think that like it would be the same outcome here if it's something that she's consistently done. She's like, oh, multiple souls in a body, got it, and then clap them up. But what do you all think? The peanut
yeah
gallery?
I think it's about time we get to things. Honestly, I hear a lot of multipliers and that confuses my fucking brain. I hear a lot of soul things, and there's a lot of back and forth with that. And honestly, I feel like we'd need an actual I'd need like a chart or something just to like see everything.
This would be a great
outlined.
one for like the build Discord chart. You know what I'm talking about, where it's like plus, can burn away souls, minus like Fajin or whatever, where it's like what's specifically good and bad against them.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, I think honestly, you kind of had me sold when you mentioned that big planet storm, which immediately made me think of Deku storm. That's significantly weaker. On like a lot of the calcs, like couple thousand the petatons just sounds. I've seen early exotons for Deku, so it's not like it's mind-boggling, but if Shai can just do that casually, reach that like exoton stage maybe, that approaching moon level. Plus, I think I'm more sold on her, their soul stuff, I think. like you said, Deku can just have like his vestiges are inside his soul or whatever, and it's like, okay, but his soul can still be damaged though. But I feel like I'd need more. It's either time to process or just like an actual like chart. So right now I think I'm leaning Shy, but it's not like I'm going, yeah, okay, this is clear cut. I think Deku, depending on what these two say, he could still take this.
Yeah. I think I'm actually in a very similar boat. It definitely sounds, from what I could hear, and what I think is like very reasonable to give the characters, it does sound like Deku's a lot faster. It sounds like Shy has better AP feats and likely higher durability, which means that Deku's gonna have a hard time just speed blitzing her, even though it's not an impossibility. And Shy does have a way to win a long game, even with like soul resistance, like soul hacks resistance. If Shy hides long enough, it sounds like it's possible for her to get past all of that and depower Deku. And so just considering all of that, it sounds to me like Shy has a slightly easier to achieve win condition than Deku does. It's not like, I don't even think it's in like a huge gap. I think it's just like in like fighting game terms, it's like a 5.5 versus 4.5 matchup. Like 55% of the time Shy wins, 45% of the time Deku wins. But I think it's barely the case that Shy is gonna win more often, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget.
So 2 votes for Shy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Bridget?
I thought at the beginning Shy was gonna win, and I still think Shy is gonna win because fucking the soul damaging, even though Deku has resisted it somewhat, he was still damaged by decay, so it's clearly gonna hit her in the soul. And the other souls in All for One are just gonna die. Yeah, it's likely Deku is faster. The fucking AP, the star level. Is it star level? Or it's
planet level.
Yeah, it's
at the
planet level
end.
to like multi-planet or something like that.
Okay. At level AP, Deku just cannot not match. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Shy.
The funniest thing to me about this, 3 chapters ago she unlocked intangibility. I was thanking God that we did this cast right now. She did not have this ability until very recently. So I was like,
if you didn't have the intangibility thing, I think I probably would have said, I think Deku can squeeze out a win here.
She did not have that until real recently, so I was sweating bullets.
Well,
I mean,
I think legitimately, if you ignore their giga high ends, like the planetary stuff, because truthfully, I think the heat scaling is fine, but I think the actual AP is a bit sketch for both of them. I think their high ends together are relative enough. It's like early, like mid to early pentatons pretty consistently. And then their speeds are both around FTL. I think he'd still be a little faster. Like I think low or high and mid ends, same outcome. I don't know low ends, but I think like it's pretty much just her abilities perfectly counter characters like Deku. Weirdly enough, she would have a harder time against like Yuji, because he only has one. Her soul shit wouldn't work on him. It only works on if you have multiple souls on a body. But like I even remember thinking this. I was like, if you did the like classic like switch the main characters, like who would run their gauntlet, she could probably lose to like Overhaul, but she would literally eat Shigaraki for lunch. Like it's like specifically her powers explicitly work in a way to beat characters like that, and I think that's like the big help for her.
Yeah, but Decay Death though.
Yeah.
My thoughts are this. Obviously, I had fucking zero clue about Shy coming into this. It's a pretty obscure manga / anime.
Also, her versus wiki is empty. It is
it's
barren. It's
so
her versus battle wiki.
I came in here based on the versus battle wiki knowledge. Even though Claire did mention that there's more stuff, I just thought there's no way it can jump from like fucking country level to anything like that obscene. And then I saw the sun stuff and the black hole stuff, and I was like, shit, okay, looks like it's gonna be a bit tougher than I thought. And I still think even with those things in mind, I do think Izuku can still win.
I think Izuku definitely can win.
It's a more often than not situation, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Say, I'm looking at it now just to see because I couldn't remember. Her versus wiki puts her at city level, mind you.
No, there's country
so
stuff where I'm
fucking
pretty
bad.
sure.
There's country, but they say she can't scale when she does it herself.
I mean, Claire,
she performs the feat.
Claire, I got people saying you wanked the hell out of loser range of red powders.
yeah.
Okay, I showed all of my feats on screen, and even without the Giga high ends, I even say it doesn't.
Well, apparently that castle feat and the light speed is invalid, but we can get into that after the cast.
No.
I
I've never ranked a character in my life. I just say what's on the panel.
wasn't expecting a loss for my first cast, but
Next time you have a good shot. Next time you have a good chance.
Yeah.
Next time's a fun one. It's not.
Yeah,
it won't be.
NHK is
It's
like,
not next week,
my
but
bread.
it's next time moving's on. We
Yeah.
have a fun one planned.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably be on like a couple casts,
Yeah.
like just.
Well,
Just one of
if
the
next
three
time on Death Battle,
photos.
I guess we could say because we do not have the next cast planned. It's going to be probably whatever this next time on Death Battle is.
Time traveler time. Let's go.
If it's always bet on
There's
Aang
one I can
Traveler.
ref.
If it's let's say if
Like
it's
it.
like watch it be MHA, so like we
No.
it's like well
Oh,
More
fuck.
jujitsu
Always bet
kind
on
of-
all for one in the League of Villains versus Giovanni and Team Rocket.
Oh god,
but
that's fun though.
That's cool. It's a fun one. Maybe it.
I'd like to mention that the next time I will be on here, it will be again against Claire.
Yeah.
The rematch.
Fucking-
Moving if you lose that
The
one,
rematch
shame
is
on
the
you.
rematch.
Shame on you if you lose.
No, if I
we
lose,
can-
because it's a Sonic one. If I lose that one, I shouldn't be here because that's the main reason I'm on this server.
You're off the cast. You're out.
Right. So
We're start having Man of Action rep Sonic instead of you.
okay.
Like,
Oh God, no!
All right. So does anyone here have anything to plug before we end things?
I guess
Fucking
Yes.
subscribe to my YouTube channel that I don't do anything with.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I might be doing stuff later. It won't be power scaling.
so. I guess I can go next. I'm releasing a video this weekend. When you're seeing this, I think it'll be Sunday when you upload this.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'll have a video about the Kickstarter era of Death Battle. So follow me on socials or whatever, and I hope you like it.
I'm Window K over on Reddit. It's basically the thing that I always have to promote because I don't have anything else. All I can say is stay tuned for next month, I believe when my next cast will be, the one where I'm repping a character. So stay tuned until then.
I have a YouTube channel. I have talked about power scaling once, and I am considering making another video adjacent, or actually just about the topic. So I also make videos about Sonic and some other things as well. It's Pumpkin Swift, Pumkin, not Pumpkin. Yeah,
Can't spell, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Of course, Claire and Pumpkin will both be collaborating with this video probably, so you can check their channels out then. I'm sure.
Can you link my channel if that's possible?
Yeah, sure. Little 4
I'll
weeks.
send you the link in DMs.
Cool. I will send you all that link whenever the video is uploaded. So with all that said, let us know what your thoughts on this. I don't want to say obscure, but also it's kind of a niche-ish matchup.
It's kind of like last time, where like one character is clearly very, very well known and popular, and the other is a little obscure, but it's a good matchup for them. Real quick before we go, I want to say anyone who says I wanked Loser Ranger, you're a fucking liar. Go read the manga. Like, go read that.
Go in my comment section and argue with them, please.
Yeah. Go.
For anyone that said it-
It's good. If you
Yeah.
don't leave Claire again, go read Shy.
Okay.
Yeah, go read Shy.
and for anyone who inevitably says that I wanked MHA, I agree.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Probably.
good
you're
point.
totally right.
Okay.
I mean, for some of the feats, like most of them,
It's
like
pretty much the final bit, like the high
yeah,
end.
the final one is the dog shit.
Yeah. You even say, "I don't believe this." However,
I need it.
Yeah, the thing about Jiro catching the radio waves, I was like, I think he just forgot. I think he just didn't realize how fast that was. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way Jiro is 60 times FTL. Like,
I've seen it as an argument in like G1
Then it
blogs
goes
though.
fine.
Like,
yeah, I will say but yeah.
I think that's hyper autistic power scaling logic. Like,
Yeah, and I'm super autistic.
yeah.
It it is very fun to talk about obscure series. Like next time, I'm talking about a very.
I'm gonna call for my mom, so I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
You gotta go.
We're gonna end in a minute, but
been fun. Finally getting a chance to
it is
get on this cast.
It is a million degrees.
I'm fucking melting. Please.
Another quote to end off. Look, this outro's gone to shit already. This podcast's been going way too long compared to the rest of them. With that all said, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hopefully my mic worked.
It did. It was much clearer this time. Stay safe, you guys. Stay safe, you guys. Let us know your thoughts on the matchup. And as always, be excellent to each other and look after yourself during this heat because we are dying. Goodbye.